Ain't no holler back girl. Ain't no holler back girl.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Nerdaholics. I'm Sean.
I'm me.
Yeah, he's him. He's the hybrid. Oh god.
Oh no, don't you dare, don't you dare.
No.
Edit that out, I'm not being associated with that one.
No,
I'm Jack, hello.
Well done, yeah.
Not being associated
as
with
of
that.
course you all know from the gaming videos that he has been meticulously uploading every day.
Yeah, well, I try. It's I've got my little backlog. I've got like six. You know, I won't say anything.
Spoilers.
They appear when they appear.
They do indeed.
I'm trying my best to do one every day. I've got about 5 or 6 videos saved on the machine.
He's churning them out like no one's business.
It's kind of like, you know, you need a small amount of editing, but that's just trimming off like loading screens and stuff. So,
Trimming the fat.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully you're enjoying them.
Yeah, and if you are enjoying them, suggestions are welcome for the next Let's Play. Like I say, just jot them down, let us know.
Yeah.
You know, it seems that you seem to be enjoying it, don't you? I think.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
My only problem is that I'm running out of stuff to say while I'm playing them.
Oh yeah. Well, I suppose when you're playing a game for so long, then I suppose it gets a little bit like
you run out of stuff.
You run out of stuff to say. But you know, that's it's all it's trial and error, isn't it?
Okay, I'm about to do this mission. This mission is interesting because this and this happens. But if I talk about that on the way to the mission, I'll have nothing to say when the mission
actually get
happening. So.
Yeah. But to be fair, I think you seem to find something to talk about.
Yeah,
a bit like us on this channel.
That's what we
which
do.
is a nice segue into today's topic of conversation, which was actually something suggested by our good friend Tom Kerrigan.
Hey Tom.
A good follower of our videos. He suggests things every now and then, and he gives us good feedback, which we appreciate. So, cheers to you, mate. He also happens to be a bass player in 2 of my bands. He's going to love that. Your bands? What the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Hang on a minute. If it wasn't for me.
Hang on. You're the lead singer, yeah?
Yes.
Then they are your bands.
Hey!
We all know how this works. Come on.
Read and weep, bitch.
Gwen Stefani. Who knows the names of anyone in her bands?
Well, she's only got one, hasn't she? No doubt.
Well, exactly, but no one knows the names of
anyone.
anyone.
Well, no, I suppose the other good players aren't No and Doubt, are they? Anyway.
I just compared Tom to fucking.
You compared Tom to Gwen Stefani. I'm going to call him Tom Stefani from now on. He's going to love that.
Oh,
that's all his fault, by the way, Tom.
I don't care. I take fucking ownership of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you should.
I've got just envisioning.
Cut. So hang on a minute, Jack. So you said before that I'm a bit like Gwen Stefani. Well, I'll tell you
no
something.
Holler back girl. Ain't no holler back girl.
Nerdaholics, folks.
I don't know what
you don't know what a nerdaholic is anymore.
A nerdaback girl is, but I'm sure that's what. Stick it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. That can be like a design.
Nerdaback girl.
Nerdaback girl. There we go.
Yeah, it's going to be a t-shirt.
Yeah. Purely for the ladies.
Make some money.
Because I mean, no. Yeah.
No. If you're a dude who wants to wear women's clothes, that's fine.
Then that's up to you. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Just do like everyone else does. Do it in the shame and privacy of your own bedroom. Don't let the world know.
And get 1 million hits on YouTube. Hey!
No, would we get more views if I started wearing like Eddie's wedding dress to these, things?
Probably. It'd probably be something that has nothing to do with what we actually talk about on a regular basis.
Anniversary special.
Anniversary. Oh yeah.
Actually, best yet, Eddie's got like 3 bridesmaids dresses that she obviously is never going to wear ever again.
Well, yeah.
Get you in one, me in one would be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a wedding holics special.
Yeah, no, anniversary special for like when we launched the channel. Come on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, how old are we?
Bridesmaids.
How long have we been going?
What? If we get to 100 subscribers, we will do that.
Yeah. Oh no, we just got that on camera, didn't we?
Right, if he doesn't, I still will.
No, I will too.
Do it as well.
Yeah, 100 subscribers. We'll wear bridesmaids dresses
for one video.
And then you get to decide what the video's about. How's that?
It's going to be about a shitty romantic comedy.
Yeah. We're going to have to watch 50. Oh no!
Do 50 Shades of Grey in bridesmaids dresses.
Yeah.
That's the
and we
plan.
have to be. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
1, we hate ourselves. 2, this is fucking a brilliant idea. And 3, I'm sorry, this is going to get us from 30 to 100 subscribers in like a week.
Christmas special. There we go.
That Christmas special. Oh no.
Or no, we can wear those dresses while talking about
Christmas
50 Shades, and then we can review the whole all the Christmas specials from Doctor Who. How about that? In wedding dresses, like the Runaway Bride. See, segue in.
Yeah. What are we supposed to talk about?
I think we were supposed to talk about something. Okay, so this episode is all about Marvel, specifically. How the fuck are the Avengers going to defeat Thanos? Because let's face it, spoiler alert, they're a bit fucked at the moment because half of them have been disintegrated.
Yeah.
Slightly more than half. Well, yeah, slightly more than half. Funnily enough, the only ones that are remaining are the original Avengers. Whoa. From the first movie.
They got Rocket. They got
yeah, but he's not.
They got War Machine.
Yeah, they're not Avengers though, are they? They're great characters, but they're not really Avengers.
Well, no, they've not been knighted as Avengers like Peter Parker was.
You don't imagine like the whole pan around camera go da 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 da, and you don't see War Machine there.
He was an Avenger. He got made an Avenger at the end of Avengers 2: Age of Ultron.
Actually,
and then he was still an Avenger technically during Civil War, which still had the Avengers in it.
Oh yes, but was he actually specifically called an Avenger?
Yes, he was.
Oh, he was. All right.
Okay.
Well then, fuck you.
His name was on the Sokovia Accords.
Who cares about the Sokovia Accords? That doesn't even really matter anymore, does it? Well, just bring the XMen in, but then Disney owns everything, which would be bad.
Well, Disney.
So this is the dichotomy this is the dilemma we find ourselves in. Okay, we want the actual XMen in there, but do we really want them in there if Disney own them?
Well, here's the thing: if Fox has been bought by Disney at this point, I think they're just like signing the
I swear we talked about this in like a video a year ago, and it's still not been confirmed yet. Yeah.
The thing is, though, one of the things in the contract is that only Fox, the studio, can make X-Men movies until the timer runs out, and then Disney gets.
Oh yeah, because they've got the Phoenix coming.
Yeah.
That's the next one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark Phoenix.
If Fox gets bought up by someone else, they're not actually Fox anymore.
And this is Disney Fox.
Yeah. Which means Disney then gets the rights back, that's fine. But if someone else bought them, the rights would instantly revert back to Disney. So Disney doesn't have to give two shits if they want X-Men back. It's like, we could buy you and get your catalogue of other movies.
I suppose it's a bit like, because with the way that they're doing Venom in the whole Sony have decided they're going to start, it's like a Marvel Sony universe.
Oh shit, have you heard
but SpiderMan isn't involved in that because he's part of the Disney Marvel universe, even though he was originally a Sony property. What?
You haven't heard?
Probably no. Why? Don't tell me Venom is like going to be a fucking super fucking hero.
They're going down the anti-hero route, obviously.
Yeah.
But then apparently
I don't know what I think about that.
At the point of this recording, the last bit of news I heard is they're doing everything in their power to get Tom Holland's SpiderMan into the movie.
What, into Venom?
Into Venom.
Right. Okay. Well, it would make sense.
Yeah.
But
oh no, it's gonna be like a cameo sort of thing rather than an integral part.
Even though the integral part of Venom is Spider-Man, but let's just forget about that for the moment.
What was essentially going to be not necessarily like an 18 or R-rated movie, but at least
it's now PG-13.
It's going down to PG-13.
Yeah.
Okay, you sold us on the movie of a giant space symbiote eating people.
Well, yeah. A big part of the trailer is that he eats someone in a shop, and then reverts back to Eddie Brock, and then goes, "Oh, hey, Mrs. Whatever her name is," and it's like, oh, so that is literally going to be the scene in the movie. Oh, I mean, come on. There's a thing about the unseen, like we talked about in our top 10 Doctor Who rate videos.
The ones that are going live just now.
Yeah, the ones that are just in that playlist right over there somewhere.
He'll edit it. He's getting really good at editing. That's quite
I don't know about good. I think I have machinery to thank for that.
We have
and
jump
Google.
Cuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Jump cuts.
Yeah,
you get
jump
rid of the
cuts
crap in between.
and iMovie. What was I saying before then? Beer. Fuck you, beer.
But now you have to edit that.
Oh yeah, now I've got to edit the fact that I can't remember what I was talking about beforehand. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. The unseen is scarier. Yeah, there's a certain point where that's true, but in a Venom movie, fuck off. Like, you want to see the gore because that's how violent it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
the same with the Punisher. Like in the TV shows, you see how violent it is because that's how violent it is in the comics.
Oh yeah.
So to then downgrade that to PG-13 is completely doing the comics a disservice because it is fucking violent in the comics. It's going to be a bit like fucking Alien vs Predator, where you can't actually see any of the gore.
It's I hate the Alien vs Predator movies.
Oh, don't.
Hate them. Hate them.
Yeah. No, let's not go. That's another topic for discussion. Let's try and keep on point with this as far off from point as it's gone already.
We'll save that for like a bad movie bashing video
that
or
can
something.
Be, and I mean, that's not even worthy of the cult classic Crapfest series, because unlike those videos, you know, we actually enjoy those videos that we put in that in that playlist because they're so bad they're good, but they're fun. AVP 1 and 2 are not fun; they're just shit.
I will give AVP 2 you can enjoy if you're drunk off your face, because the action scenes are good. But beyond
well, it's really dark. Can't see it.
Avengers,
yeah.
So the three questions we have for this are: 1, how are they going to stop Thanos?
Yeah.
2, shit, what was number 2?
Who will stop Thanos?
Who will stop Thanos specifically?
And 3, what happens after then?
Right.
Not based. I mean, well, I suppose it has to be based on the comics, but if we're not basing it on what happens after the Infinity Gauntlet saga in the comics, where do they go next?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so...
and you're more versed in the comics than I am, admittedly, so...
Well, I'll tell you what, do you want me to go first? Or do
you go first.
Okay.
You go first.
Right, okay, so, in the original comic, for the Infinity Gauntlet comic, or I think it was called Infinity Gauntlet.
It is Infinity Gauntlet, because I actually have it, I'm a lazy bastard and haven't read it yet. But I've got it sitting there, ready to read.
It's like, in the original Infinity Gauntlet comic, it's like, in brief, Thanos gets all the gems, like, before the comic even starts.
Yeah.
There's like a prelude, or like, the road to Infinity Gauntlet or whatever. So, at the very beginning, of that comic, he snaps his fingers and wipes out half the universe.
Yeah.
That's how the Avengers know that shit's gone down, because they've just watched half their friends disappear.
Yeah.
And then Adam Warlock, who is basically Super Space Jesus.
Yeah.
He comes along and says, right, I'm going to gather all of Earth's mightiest heroes and a few other cosmic heroes, because that's what we'll need to stop Thanos. Yada yada yada.
Was he mentioned in Guardians? Was it Guardians?
He was mentioned in Guardians 2 because they showed
very briefly.
Because in like one of the ending sequences they showed his cocoon.
Yeah, that's it. So there's a hint that he could come into it, but he probably won't.
He probably won't come into this movie. The idea was he'd come into Guardians 3 if he gets used to it.
With all the shit that's been going on with that franchise right now.
Yeah, the Adam Warlock is very much is the guy who comes up with the plan that stops Thanos, and the idea is basically, as you can easily imagine from seeing the first Infinity War movie, is get the gauntlet off Thanos.
Which is basically what I imagine they're going to be doing with Captain Marvel. That's going to be her role, I imagine. That's
what I would imagine they would do.
Yeah.
They would turn her into...
Spoiler alert for the end of Infinity War, but if you're watching this, I'm assuming you've already seen the first Infinity War movie.
Yeah.
Or I should say the only Infinity War movie, because that's not going to be the title for the second one, but you know what we're saying.
The idea is... Well, I'm not going to go into the comic. The whole point is they get the gauntlet off him, and it's Nebula, Gamora's sister, who uses the gauntlet, but she can't use it properly, so she messes things up even worse.
Right, okay.
Then Adam Warlock takes the gauntlet, and he's the one who puts things back right.
Okay.
So, if we're following the comics, or at least in theory following the comics, this is how my brain is going to work.
Yeah.
Someone is going to have to put on the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Now, they'll get the gauntlet off. They'll get the gauntlet off Thanos.
Yeah.
And if I had to put money on it, I'd say it'd be the Hulk. Hulk and Banner would have some sort of little therapy session or whatever it is they need for...
They'll become more as one rather than...
Well, the pervading theory is that they do the whole Professor Hulk thing, but that was so unpopular with the fans.
I mean, they kind of did that at the end of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
With Edward Norton, which again, I've said this before, I didn't think that was that bad a movie. I thought it was alright.
I like that.
And I mean, in a way, that kind of is part of the MCU, because at the end credits, you get Tony Stark comes in. But at the end of the very end of that movie, you see him. He has the green eyes, so you think he is basically Professor Hulk at that point.
Yeah. Because the idea is Professor Hulk, for those who don't know, is basically Bruce Banner's brain inside the Incredible Hulk's body.
So he has all of his strength, but he has
all the strength, but he's actually got intellect.
Exactly. His intellect, his calmness, for want of a better word. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that's
he's in control of it. Yeah.
So my working theory at this particular point in time is that the gauntlet comes off. The Hulk's the one who gets it off of him.
Yeah.
But
because he finally grows balls to actually do it. But
here's going to be the thing: the Hulk's not going to be the one to use it. If I had to put money on it, the only person that they've got in the established MCU so far, I'm going Captain America.
Okay.
Captain America so far has been established to be the most moral. I say moral in inverted commas, but you know, it's in terms of how the MCU is working.
Well, he is. I mean, he is technically the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And up until recently, I thought, oh no, it's Iron Man. I prefer Iron Man. But the way things have gone, I actually prefer Captain America. I never thought I would.
I like Captain America so much more than
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. Don't get me wrong, Robert Downey Jr. doing a bloody awesome job.
It's nothing to do with that. It's purely based on how the character's gone so far.
See, now you said that, the way it's probably going to go is it's going to be Tony Stark who puts the gauntlet on.
Well, I can understand why you think that, and I wouldn't be surprised because, let's face it, this franchise has been based around Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And I think if they're going to kill him off, if Robert Downey Jr. is at the end of his contract, the only feasible way they can do it, by making him the sacrificial lamb and the martyr to the whole thing, is that he sacrifices himself to save the universe. Therefore, he gets closure, the universe gets closure, but as a result, he's dead.
See, here's my thinking for this. Tony Stark with, you know, the Infinity Gauntlet, or his own version of the Infinity Gauntlet with the Infinity Gems in it.
Yeah.
Snaps the fingers, brings back everybody. I will preface this by saying not everybody, but I'll talk about that in a second.
Ooh, okay.
He brings back everybody. What will happen is anyone who was killed by the finger snap.
Yeah.
So, Black Panther, SpiderMan, Scarlet Witch,
Star-Lord.
Yeah. Anyone who dissolved, they'll be brought back.
Right.
Anyone who died because they were killed.
Like Loki,
with his neck snap.
Yeah.
Gamora chucked off the cliff.
Yeah. So do you think then Guardians 3 will be a prequel?
No.
Okay.
If they're going with how I think it's going to go,
yeah, they
could still have Gamora in it, but it'd be like a flashback.
Okay.
So she'll be there for like a scene, maybe 2.
Fine.
Yeah. But you've got enough characters that you don't really need her to come back. So it's like,
yeah,
you know, you could actually do more with the rest of the characters if she was dead than if she was alive. Not because she was like the glue that held them together and you've got to do new stuff with it, but it's just kind of like you can take them down. Like,
well, you can kind of not replace her, but Nebula would be like sort of the natural fit into her role.
She could do the ass kicking.
She's starting to sort of soften to the idea of the.
You could do more with like the emotional side of things. To say like Star-Lord, where it's like, okay, he's dealt with his mum dying. Now he's found a woman who loves him, and she's died.
Yeah. Now he's completely just like cold to the idea. Maybe that's where they kind of bring in, maybe him and Nebula kind of have a little thing. Yeah. But she's obviously very cold because she's basically an android, and he's very cold because of what you've just said.
He's dead inside.
Yeah, but they could do something with that.
You could do something with that in Guardians.
Yeah.
Now, my whole thinking here is, people like say Black Panther and Spider-Man. We know that Tom.
We know they've got loads of movies.
They got multi-movie deals already signed.
Exactly.
So they're not going to die. And the interesting thing would have been is if they hadn't killed those ones off, if they had survived as well.
Yeah.
Literally, just like say Black Panther and Spider-Man.
Because now, because they've died, you know that they're going to come back because they've got those films ahead.
Yeah. Sony has got like another 4 movies with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
At least another 4.
At least. Yeah.
Black Panther.
I mean, Homecoming was all right, but nah.
I really liked Michael Keaton. He was
Michael Keaton made the movie.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say this right now. I watched Homecoming all the way through.
Yeah.
And all the characters were amazing. Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Michael Keaton as Vulture, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Well,
Tony Stark as Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. It's kind of like, all of the main principal characters like that were amazing. Loved all of them. However, the film was less.
The story was crap.
It was less than the sum of its parts.
It
wasn't fantastic.
I mean, it was all about. To be fair, it was all about. This is Tom Holland as Spider-Man. And to be fair to it, they didn't go through another. Well, obviously they'd already. Well, they couldn't have done that because they didn't even do it in Civil War. But, you know, unlike the sort of fucking amount of Batman movies we've been getting recently, they haven't gone over the origin story and stuff. They've kind of... No, he is Spider-Man already now.
Yeah.
We know how it works.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
You know what I mean?
It's his origin story, as it was a case of, well, I've only been doing this for like 5 months or 6 months or
it's
so.
It's like, oh no, there's a passing comment about, oh yeah, spider bite? Yeah. Radioactive? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, fine, get on with it.
I'm thinking that anyone who basically died. So Vision, for example, he had the top half of his head ripped open to have the gem pulled out.
Yeah.
After being exploded.
Yeah.
So, you know, he died twice.
Which, by logic, means he's probably going to be fine at the end of it.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly.
He'll be a human.
And Vision would be the exception, as in, you know, he could actually come back because he's a robot.
They'll probably do some sort of like Ultron thing where, oh, you know, there's residual data in all of these access systems, which means we can extrapolate him and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically...
Which also means that maybe fucking Ultron will be back again, but anyway, yeah.
My point for this is going to be that anyone who's actually dead is going to stay dead.
Yeah.
Anyone who's finger snap dead...
Won't stay dead.
They won't stay dead. They'll come back.
Yeah, of course they will.
Now, the proviso to this is any character that dies after the finger snap will also stay dead. Now...
As in part 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tony Stark will live.
What?
Even
at the end?
Even at the end.
Okay.
Thor will live.
Yeah, I mean, Thor's a given. I think Thor is definitely going to survive.
Yeah. And
mainly for Ragnarok, to be honest with you. I mean, they've got a good thing going with that. But anyway, yeah.
But Captain America will die.
I think, well, Steve Rogers will die.
Well, Steve Rogers died, but the Captain America title will live.
But yeah, Chris Evans will leave the role. Yeah. And that will go on to Bucky.
Robert Downey Jr. is far too popular as Iron Man to kill him off. Even if...
But then wouldn't that make it the best sort of like twist to be like...
Yeah.
He doesn't need the money, let's face it.
It would make it a fantastic twist, but it wouldn't fly.
And to be fair, they are... Well, I mean, you've got Doctor Strange, so he's almost going to take on that mantle of Iron Man in terms of how the similarities are with the characters. You're just bringing in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Who is probably going to be the next leader of the Avengers, let's face it.
She's taking over Thor. She's like a hybrid between Thor and Captain America.
Yeah, exactly.
Pitches, so
Black Panther has only just had one of his movies. So he's going to play a more prominent role, I think.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got Tom Holland playing Spider-Man, who's still like early 20s, if that.
Yeah.
Whether I don't know whether they need to go back to... As much as I love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, at this point, it's kind of overkill.
Well, here's the thing. What they'll do, if they follow my line of thinking, is Robert Downey Jr. will retire as Iron Man, because you've still got Rhodey in War Machine.
Yeah, but he's not exactly getting any younger.
No, he's not. But here's the thing: you could still get Robert Downey Jr. back in for the occasional Avengers cameo. So like Avengers 5 in like 4 years'
3,
time.
2, 1. And we're back in the room. Back in the room. Sorry for the slight difference in quality. We had some technical difficulty. Yeah, my brain's going through technical difficulties at the moment. We had some technical issues. Yeah, exactly. Which means that we had to go from the actual camcorder to the iPad recorder. Yeah. But we still wanted to keep this momentum going because otherwise it would take too fucking long to do anything else. But anyway,
right.
Yeah. So
Robert Downey Jr. is too popular an actor, or at least too popular as Iron Man.
As Iron Man
they won't get rid of him.
To retire it.
They will retire him. He might well make cameos in future Avengers movies. They might like relabel it, instead of being like Avengers, they might call it like New Avengers or Mighty Avengers or
the Ultimate Avengers or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thor, on the other hand, it's documented that well enough that Chris Hemsworth has not had the best experience playing Thor. What they'll do with him, they'll retire the character. It'll be like, okay, he's going to go off to New Asgard and rule as king, right? Yeah. So we won't hear from him.
Probably be somewhere on Earth where no one can find him.
Well, it was just outside of Texas actually when they did it in the comics.
Oh, well, exactly. There we go then.
Brand new Asgard. Thor's going to be king of it.
Yeah.
Right. So we won't see Thor again. Probably
king of the rednecks. Yay!
You probably won't see Thor again at all, but what they'll do is they'll introduce like Hercules or something, Mighty Hercules, because he had his own comics. He's still got his comic series going with.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
He's still going, and it's
fair enough.
And the thing is, there's a bit of a lead-in because you could have because his sidekick is Amadeus Cho, who is
right.
He's the kid of. Well, you remember Age of Ultron, the movie?
Yeah.
And the Asian woman who invented the machine that they put. It's her kid.
Oh, it's her kid.
Yeah, her kid is the sidekick of the Mighty Hercules.
Of the Mighty Hercules. Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you've got a lead in there. It makes more sense to do that.
Yeah.
Because then you've got a brand new actor who's going to have like a 9-contract movie deal or whatever.
Obviously, you've got Captain. I know we've always said it. You've got Captain Marvel, who is essentially Marvel Superman. Yeah. So maybe the need, because Thor is essentially Superman. He just can't fly without the hammer. Really. Yeah. So I think maybe they've got a replacement for maybe two of them with her alone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never seen a fantastic handling of that character.
Well, but I mean, there've not been many other than the comics.
No, but this is it.
And the cartoons.
Oh, I don't think she's had like a TV or movie release, except in like a few cartoons.
Yeah.
It's like the one cartoon I remember.
But not even as near as Wonder Woman has.
No.
Nowhere near.
Yeah. But it's like, the thing is, it's just like, even in like her own comics, especially over like the last 10 years, it's like, it's just no. I'm sorry, but no.
just don't bother. But they're doing it.
They're doing it.
Doing it, and we'll see what happens.
It's like the last good stuff she had was in what was it, Dark Reign, and that's like after bloody Secret Invasion. That's well back in the day.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I like Brie Larson. I mean, I always said I always would have preferred it if Katie Sackhoff was Captain Marvel, because she embodies that role, especially as Starbuck in Battlestar. I just thought I really wanted her to do it. Brie Larson, she's a good actress. She's an Oscar-winning actress, so you can't really go wrong with that. With Marvel's track record, I can't say that they've really done a real disservice to a character.
No, the worst they've done so far is Thor 2, and even then, that's because they just didn't quite know how to pitch the whole. What are we doing with Thor? Because they set it up as not being like. It's like Thor is supposed to be like Lord of the Rings style fantasy.
Yeah,
realistically, that's what it's supposed to be.
But the trouble is they had to obviously merge it with the technological world of the Avengers.
It all as technology.
Yeah,
so it's like you can't do magic now. You're doing technology.
Yeah,
it doesn't quite work. And then it's
until Doctor Strange.
Well, no, because Doctor Strange is magic.
That's how they jumped that hurdle.
Yeah, they basically just turned around and said, right, sod it, let's just do proper magic. They'll retire Thor. He'll be replaced with probably Mighty Hercules, because he's probably the next most known one out of it. Right?
Yeah.
So,
I think Doctor Strange, though, will be a pivotal central figure of the new Avengers going
He will be the logical mindset. He'll be the Spock of the team.
Dormammu will be the new big bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
You'll have SpiderMan in there because, of course...
Spider-Man's everywhere.
Of course
yeah, he's in every kind of fucking comic line there is.
Spider-Man is still their top-selling line of comics, and he's still one of their top characters.
Even now, after all the shit with the fucking Ultimate Spider-Man and all the weird shit they've been doing.
Yeah. Even so, he is still their best. So it's kind of like it's his face.
And the PS4 game coming out looks really cool.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
It's his face on all the stationery at Marvel.
Yeah,
you know, you walk into the Marvel offices and it's like Spider-Man on all the paper and all that shit.
But it's such a simple design, but it works.
Yeah,
a bit just like Batman.
Yeah.
It's a simple design, but it's powerful.
Yeah. And so, but Spider-Man will be like the moral centre.
Yeah.
So you'll get a good bit of play on Doctor Strange and
Spider-Man, which they've already sort of laid the foundations of. Yeah.
And that will work really well, and I like that. Captain America, he's going to die.
As well, Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers will die.
Yeah.
And what will happen is, I heard a fan thing on the internet about this.
Yeah.
I think literally yesterday, at the point of recording this.
Yeah. Which is now the 29th. Well, it still is the 28th of August, 2018.
Yeah. And when they kill Steve Rogers, the last thing they want to see is at the end credit scene is basically him waking up in that little pub from the first Avengers movie, and Peggy walks in the red dress. And
that should be really nice.
That'd be a really nice send off. It's like, you know what? Do that.
Yeah. That should be like the last scene of the film.
Captain America is such an awesome character. I don't want him to die.
No. Especially not see. I mean, obviously they'll carry it on with Bucky, but then they'll obviously have to reignite the franchise and be like Captain America, Bucky, or something. I know it won't be as cheesy as that. Do you know what I mean?
Here's the thing. It's like they've said this before. It's like they've imagined all the roles in Marvel as being like James Bond, that you could just recast them every 5 to 10 years.
A bit like
or so.
Doctor Who. Yeah.
Yeah. You can just recast it with someone else, and it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
The only problem is certain people have embodied the role, like Robert Downey Jr. They've embodied it so much, and I'd argue Chris Evans is basically Captain America.
Well, he
now.
is.
It's like I watch it. I saw Snowpiercer for the first time the other day.
Oh, really? What did you think?
I thought it was really bloody awesome.
That's the thing. It was one of the other videos that we did a while back, and I actually said I actually think that Chris Evans' best role is in Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Over Captain America, even though he's great as Captain America, I think Snowpiercer is just so out of left field.
Oh, I can't argue that.
Great movie.
It's a great movie.
Great fucking movie.
This is Captain America.
Captain America, yeah. And it was in between as well. It wasn't like before Captain America. I think he did the first Avenger, then he did this.
Yeah.
And then obviously, once you get caught into the fucking Avengers world, you don't do anything else really.
No.
I mean, I can't think of any of the other actors other than maybe fucking Benedict Cumberbatch that has done anything else in between.
Yeah.
Oh well, Chris Pratt, but I mean, he's a franchise actor now. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But with the others, it's like that is literally, you've got this amount of money for these amount of films. You don't do anything fucking else. And if that was me, I'd be like, all right then. I will happily sacrifice 5 years of my career for being in this franchise and getting this amount of money. But there we go.
Captain America is the easiest one to kill off.
Yeah, I mean they kind of hinted that in the trailer for obviously the first Infinity War. Where he's obviously face to face with Thanos, and he's fucking going like that, and then Thanos is like, "What the fuck? How are you so powerful?" And he's like, "Ah!" And then you think, then, oh shit, Cap's dead. Then
Caps are dead.
So then it's like when he survives, it's like, oh okay, but then obviously he's probably I agree with you, he's the most likely of the Avengers that they can kill off, and yet they can still preserve the character of Captain America.
It's easier for them to do that with him than anyone else.
It's more like. We draw comparisons between Iron Man and Batman being the same character, but really and truly, Captain America is probably, in terms of replaceability, in terms of someone who can step up to the role and play it, it's probably more so that Captain America and Batman are more similar in the way that you can step into that role and you can be a symbol.
Yeah. The big thing about Captain America is he is just a very moralistic centre.
Yeah.
It's like, you could read any of the, I'm going to preface this by saying any of the older Avengers comics.
Yeah.
Basically anything before 2005. Anything before then that had Captain America in it. It's kind of like, specifically Avengers I'm talking here, because I don't read enough of his own brand comics to be able to say, but basically anything before then, it's like, you know what? Captain America was the fucking nails. The best version of Captain America, fun enough, was in the fucking Ultimate Universe.
Oh really?
That version of Captain America, he was a proper World War II soldier. There's this one scene, I'm never going to forget this. It was in the Ultimates volume.
Oh, the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, it's basically the Ultimates is like the Avengers, but it's just in the Ultimates universe.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's volume 1, which is like the first 6-part story for this. It's like you've got Hank Pym. Back when he was Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man, yeah.
But he was going to Giant. He was going up to Giant Man at this point.
Yeah.
And basically, it was just after Steve Rogers found out that Hank Pym whacked his wife.
Oh, alright, okay.
1940s World War II. Steve Rogers.
Actually, to be fair, Hank Pym, I can imagine that, especially considering the film version was played by Michael Douglas. Yeah. you can kind of envision that quite easily.
He finds Hank Pym at some shitty bar, drags him outside, and is like, "Shit, you sort yourself out right now." And he's like, "What do you mean? No, sort it out right now because we're throwing down."
Yeah. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to teach you a lesson.
And Hank Pym's like, "Okay, fine, fuck you. You're Captain America. All you've got is your peak human or whatever." So he goes Giant Man. So he's 60 foot tall. Yeah. And then Captain America just runs into the building. He's like, "Yeah, you're a fucking pussy. Don't try it." Like 30 seconds later, if that, Captain America jumps out the fucking 4th floor window, punches him in the face, and it's like, yes, They might kill off Scarlett Johansson, but I think she's going to get her own.
I was going to say
movie. So
I honestly think if they're going to kill anyone off, maybe Captain America. I also think they're going to. I know what you've explained the reasons why, but I think Robert Downey Jr.'s time is up.
His time's up, but I don't think they'll kill him. I think he'll be retired.
But the thing is, he kind of did that in Iron Man 3. They kind of did that kind of angle with him retiring and then he came back. And I think the whole reason why he's in this position is because of the invasion at New York in the first Avengers movie. And like he said in the movie in Infinity War, it's like, you are the reason why I'm here. No, you did this to me. This is why I'm here. I need to end you. And I think as a result, something will happen where that will be it. And then it will be sad, but you'll have obviously Captain Marvel. You'll have other characters who will step up to the plate. Yeah. Because man, how many movies has he done now?
Oh shit!
Three Iron Man movies.
3 Iron Man movies.
3 Avengers movies. And he's done what? 2 cameos. Obviously, you've got Homecoming, and then you've got the Incredible Hulk.
Homecoming, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Civil War.
Civil War. Yeah. So I mean, he's done so many fucking movies.
That's 9 movies we're counting right now.
And even someone like Robert Downey Jr., he does. He might say, "Oh yeah, I'll do another one," but I think at this point it's a bit of a stretch for me. And I think, as cool as he is as Iron Man, I think it's time to move on.
This is it. I think Iron Man, relatively speaking, is probably the easiest one to replace. Not Robert Downey Jr. himself, because you never replace him.
No, not.
But if you want like the mech suit, well, look, you got War Machine. If you want someone who's intelligent, well, you got Peter Parker, SpiderMan. You can make
exactly. Peter Parker could be like, I'm doing this for Mr. Stark.
Yeah, you can make
this is for Mr. Stark sort of thing, and then you've got kind of a motivation for him.
Well, that's it. Peter Parker's always been has always been a very techie, smart kid.
Yeah,
never quite the level of Tony Stark or Mr. Fantastic or anything. But you know what? Yeah, you could as the techie one in the Avengers, you could pitch that and it would work.
Yeah,
it's kind of not probably the best fit, but
and I mean, and also okay. This isn't to say age should be a factor in anything, but as a character and as a fighting character, he's nearly he's mid-50s at least, and he's looking great for it. Don't get me wrong, but I just think now 9 movies down, and it'll be 10 movies when this part 2 comes out. I just think now's the time to. Now's the time to let it go.
The thing is, they've got just enough leeway with the fact
that's just my opinion.
They've got just enough leeway with the fact that it's a robotic suit that they could CGI it. You know what? You could just CGI it and just have him do a voiceover, so you don't actually see his face. You just get his voice while you see the suit.
Well, I think they don't even. At this point, you don't even need the Iron Man character anymore.
No.
And so I think if you just retired the character, completely.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's what I reckon they'll do.
And I think that's where they're going. And I don't think they'll retire Captain America, because Captain America is fucking, again, like I said, it's a symbol like Batman.
Yeah.
Iron Man, you could argue that, but I think Iron Man is embodied by Tony Stark.
He is. It's like, you just replace him with War Machine. Even if you call War Machine, like, you call him like
Iron Man. You could call him Iron Man, but in your heart it's not Iron Man.
No, not in the same way.
No. So I think it will be. I think Steve Rogers will die, but I think Iron Man, the character, as in the superhero and the man behind him, will be a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah. So the next question here is, where do they go next after this?
Where do they go next? So after the first, I say the first phase, but after what will be phase 4 now.
This is phase 3 finishing with Avengers 4 or Avengers Infinity War Part 2.
Also, this is a nice little side note. They haven't released the title for this movie.
No.
What do you think it will be? I think it will be Avengers Ground Zero, but just because it's like this is literally Ground Zero. But what do you reckon?
See, I'm too much into the classics. I reckon they'll call it Avengers Disassembled.
That will work because literally they are.
Well, this is it. Because the first movie, as it was released in the UK, was called Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
But then
everywhere else, it was just the Avengers.
When they stopped the Avengers comic line for a little while,
the
storyline that did it was called Avengers Disassembled.
Disassembled. Well, you know.
And the premise of that was Scarlet Witch went Scarlet Witch went mental and basically blew loads of shit up.
Yeah.
And it basically ruined the Avengers, their reputation, and all their ability to work with each other, so they just couldn't do it anymore.
It's kind of like how Civil War played out.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, and it's like, right, peace out, we're done. Now they came back, like I think like 3 or 4 years later, they started off the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Which had a lot of the same people in it again, but you had a bit of a changeover in terms of the team roster. So it's like you had, if I'm remembering this correctly, you had Iron Man, you had Captain America, you had SpiderMan, you had Spider-Woman, you had Luke Cage. I don't want to go and look it up because it's over there on the shelves.
Oh yeah,
it's over there on the shelves, but I just can't be asked to go and look it up.
It's somewhere over here.
Yeah, it's within one of those. But anyway, my reckoning is they call it Avengers Disassembled because
that's not a bad shout.
The Avengers team, as it stands right now, is disassembled because you've lost a lot of them. They're all in different places.
Oh yeah, they literally are disassembled.
Yeah. And then at the very end of the movie, it's going to be a case of like, Captain America's dead. I can't do this anymore. I've got to go rule my people.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. The original Avengers are disassembled.
Yeah.
That's my thinking for it.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
What about you?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I'm thinking Avengers Ground Zero. Mainly because it's
sick.
yeah. No, I actually didn't think of that in mind. We're fans of the Metal Gear series. Until Phantom Pain anyway. But that again, that's another video for another time. But in the kind of gaming series that
I'll get to it eventually.
We'll get to it eventually. Yeah, exactly. I just think it makes perfect sense because what has happened, it is literally the biggest disaster in human history.
Yep.
But on a universal scale.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, what possible name could you then give that? Okay, you could say maybe Sacrifice or Avengers Resurrected or something like that. But for me, Ground Zeroes is like you are literally at ground zero of this event.
Yeah.
And you have to work your way up from that.
What do you think is next?
What I think is next. So, after this is all sorted, because obviously we know it will be all sorted, but it's all about the journey towards that resolution.
Yeah.
Now, this is difficult because the amount of money that these Marvel movies make and the amount of fan interest that these movies attract, you're not going to get away with any kind of major break. So, like, a 5-year break, 4-year break, whatever. But what you can do, you can always go back to the beginning in terms of, right, when this whole collective sort of universe started, it was started with one movie, and that was Iron Man.
Yeah.
Now, when you went into that movie, you weren't really expecting that because back then, okay, it was 2008. Okay, the internet wasn't exactly new then, but you didn't have as many fucking fan theories and fan videos, and YouTube wasn't as massive as it is now.
No.
So there weren't as many channels like ours, speculating about this sort of thing, nor were there as many leaks. So when I went to see Iron Man, I went to see it because I wanted to see fucking Iron Man.
Yeah.
I wasn't then thinking, I want to see Iron Man, and I want to see how this kickstarts a new series of movies that will lead up to fucking Avengers 6-7 years down the line.
Yeah.
What I think is necessary for the next phase of however they take this is to kind of follow a similar trail. I want it to be more standalone Marvel movies. Just a new story with this character. And then you have, a year down the line, another story with this character. And it just builds up until eventually you get to a point where, okay, then there is a team up. But kind of organically, and I know that's really difficult because in my mind, as soon as I said that, I then thought, well, yeah, but then you're going to expect them to sort of set up something at the end credits and blah, 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 blah. But I think you need a clean slate from the team up thing, and you just go back to doing good stories. This is this person's movie. This is this person's movie. Almost like you're treating it like a separate franchise. Like almost like, the MCU versus DC EU.
Yeah.
Like you're not okay, you're aware that it could be in the same universe because it's a Marvel trademark, but you're not, you're just watching this movie for the sake for this movie alone, and maybe a sequel to that movie because it's a sequel to that movie, not because it's a sequel because it's going to build up to a team-up movie. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're going to include characters that are going to survive the Infinity War franchise, then kind of have them on the back burner somewhat, because it's like you don't want them to be the focus of the next generation of Marvel movies, and just try and change it up so that every movie isn't a lead on to the next one, but it's a case of, oh, that was a really great movie on its own, and if there's a sequel to that, brilliant, I look forward to it. Kind of the way they've done it with Deadpool, where it's like, okay, there's a sequel because it's going to be popular, but it's a completely different story. And it's not going to end up in now these lot are going to end up teaming up with each other, but it's just on its own merit. I just want to enjoy a movie as it is and then see where it goes from there. Is my convoluted way of explaining that. So Jack, where do you think this, or where do you want Marvel to head in the next direction?
Right. So, I think what you're saying is a good idea. Like everyone basically being in their own movies for a little while. The first, what people tend to forget is like the first 5 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe were all just standalone movies. And the first three of those, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, didn't really take into effect that there were going to be other MCU movies, and you could argue that Iron Man 2 did because of how.
Well, I mean, Incredible Hulk did, because at the end, he goes, "Oh, well, I'm thinking of putting a team together." So then you kind of go, "Oh, right, this is what's going to be." But you don't know when exactly that was.
Yeah, that was a bit of a stinger just at the end. It was like, it wasn't like a whole.
It was like, if anyone decides to stay at the end of this movie, because I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, so it's like, for whoever stayed behind, this is your little treat.
I think the next sort of 4 or 5 movies should be like that. So we'll get most likely we'll get Captain Marvel 2, Doctor Strange 2 and Black Panther 2. We'll probably get, if I'm being honest, it'll probably be Ant-Man and Wasp 3.
Yeah, well, of which I still haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I need to watch that movie.
I haven't seen that either.
It's supposed to be alright, just like Ant-Man was. Ant-Man was just, it was alright.
Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man movie was good.
It was amusing. It was good.
It wasn't bad, it wasn't good.
I mean, it wasn't like fucking Winter Soldier amazing, but then a character like Ant-Man isn't going to be like that.
No.
He's going to be more on the sort of jovial side. Yeah.
So that's what I think is going to happen is they'll do a little bit of that for a while, and I can see in my mind what they'll do is there won't be any big crossovers, but they'll do little crossovers. So for example, Spider-Man's fighting let's say the Rhino.
Yeah.
This will be the opening scene before the credits start, right?
A bit like how Amazing Spider-Man 2 ended. Hey!
So they'll be having a fight, down the middle of a street.
Yeah.
And then, the Rhino will just float in the air, and it'll be Doctor Strange doing that. It's don't fight in front of my fucking house.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man.
There's a lot of shit going on here. Yeah. I've got to refill more beers for Thor.
Yeah. Spider-Man will look around, and it'll be oh shit, I'm fighting in front of the Sorcerer Supreme's house. Sorry, my bad.
Sorry, Mr. Strange.
Yeah. And then that will cut into credits. It'll be little cameos like that. You know, that I'm not pitching that as an exact thing that will happen, but if it does, I want my money.
Indeed, yeah. Copyright, Nerdaholics, you heard it here first.
What they do next depends entirely on the makeup of the team.
Yeah.
So at this point, we've got we have Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We have Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
We have Ant-Man.
Yeah.
We have Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Black
Panther. Probably keeping the Hulk. If they get the Fox, if the whole Marvel Fox deal fully goes through and it's all proper and unofficial, that will throw all that timeline out of sync.
Out of the window.
Because you'll get the Fantastic Four and you'll get the X-Men. Now, here's the thing. If that deal doesn't take place in time, let's say, someone slows down the deal, so we're going to get these next 4 Marvel movies, then Avengers 5 or Avengers 4, whatever you want.
You might get a cameo from fucking James McAvoy or something like that.
They'd either go really, really cosmic or really, really magic.
the cosmic and magic is kind of one in the same. That's how they have been presenting it.
Well, this is it.
Cosmic and magic seems to be how I think they're going forward with this.
This is it. They've already made certain references. They've made a reference to the Living Tribunal in the last Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, exactly.
The Living Tribunal is like the fourth most powerful being in the Marvel universe. The Living Tribunal, if I'm getting my power scaling right, basically has dominion over anything that is unjust.
Right, okay.
Like, if you commit an unjust act...
Like Dread.
Yeah, so if you...
Cosmic Dread.
Cosmic Dread, basically. In one of the comics, they basically went up to this thing and said, like, look, Galactus is eating everything. Stop it, please.
Yeah. It's getting too fucking hungry.
Yeah. And he's like, no, this is the natural order of things. It is hungry, it needs to eat. I'm not stopping it. But then by the same...
I can see that.
But then by the same token, they were like, you know, other things came up where it's like, yeah, this thing committed a murder for no reason.
Yeah.
Ceased from existence.
Yeah.
It only has power over the unjust.
Yeah, I suppose where Galactus is concerned is, like you said, because it's literally just eating because it needs to eat. Whether that's eating, you know, a star or a fucking planet full of like 7 billion people. And technically it's not murder because he's just eating to satiate himself. Yeah. He's not doing it because, I'm eating you because I'm an arsehole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay,
I can kind of see, yeah.
So that's
the logic there.
That's the pitch there. Or they could go really magic based and go back to Dormammu.
Yeah, because that's definitely not the last we've seen of Dormammu.
Dormammu is like...
And he's ridiculously powerful.
He's basically an insane person. It's fantastic. Yeah. You could do so much with Dormammu if you wanted to... I don't say put the effort in, because at Empires they don't put the effort in.
No, I mean, they literally, they hinted at what he could be like in Doctor Strange. And you know that's going to have massive ramifications for the next film.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, you could do lots of really good stuff with that.
Yeah.
Now, if the Fox deal does go through and everything is fine before we get to Avengers 5 or whatever it's going to be, the obvious pitch is going to be Doctor Doom. That's the main bad guy. He is the most omnipotently amazing Marvel villain.
Yeah.
When done right.
Yeah. Because the fact is, because they've done him so wrong thus far, I don't know whether he will be received as well if they do that. But I completely agree with you. That's what they should do. I don't think they will, but carry on.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? The very first version of Doctor Doom that appeared in cinema, I'm prefacing that by saying in cinema, the VHS version of the Fantastic Four movie, that one that came out in the early 90s.
There's 4 of those abominations, believe it or not.
It's like the first one was like made literally just to hold on to the rights.
Yeah.
And ironically, you can only find it like illegally on YouTube. But ironically, it's the best version of the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. Ironically. Then you've got like, you know, the first like official cinematic one that had Captain America as the Human Torch.
Oh yeah. Which I mean, looking back on it, it was a fun bit of fluff.
If that was like the first film to lead into everything, fine. But you really had to do well with the sequel, and they didn't.
And they did not.
They didn't.
No.
But it's like the guy they got to play Doctor Doom,
Julian McMahon.
Yep.
Who was really good in Charmed as Cole. I admit I watched Charmed, and he can play a good bad guy. The trouble is they hammed him up far too much.
I like the idea of what they were doing with Doctor Doom in that. I did, and it's just kind of like, you know what? Okay. In the first one, it's like, okay, they gave him lightning powers. It's like, no.
He's so much more than that.
Doctor Doom is a scientist who's driven mad by the fact that he isn't perfect because he has a scar on his face.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to say he was the best person to play Doctor Doom, because he's probably not.
I mean, contextually,
with what they were doing with that particular movie,
right. Yeah,
he was very good.
Yeah.
And if they were to turn around and say, like, he's coming back to do Doctor Doom again, I wouldn't say no.
Well, no, because I think you can. I think he would be able to, if obviously with the right direction and the right writing, he could play it well. A bit like, we're going back to Doctor Who here, but a bit like how Julian Bleach played Davros.
Yes.
Okay, so his first time playing Davros was in 2008, and then they bring him back 10 years later pretty much, well, I'd say 8 years later.
8 years later.
To play the same character, and he does it just as well, if not better.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can imagine he has the acting chops to Junior McMahon to play it just as well, if not better, with the right direction and the right writing.
Yeah. If you do Doctor Doom, that's a more personal, intricate threat, because he is personally powerful.
Yeah.
Because he has his armoured suit, he has a lot of powerful magic, so he could be a threat to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
As well
you've got the two doctors against each other.
Yeah. But he's got political power as well, because he's the leader of his own sovereign nation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He basically, you cannot get him under any law. So
under any jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if you were to catch him committing like any sort of crime, you know, anything from just like smoking weed to like murder, it's like, well,
he has his own.
He has diplomatic
own sovereignty.
Yeah. I have diplomatic immunity. It's like, and it's like, even it's like, fine, we'll just deport you then. Okay, well, next time you need to do business with Latveria, it's like you need to, you'll need to talk to me because I am their king. I want my diplomatic immunity back. Done.
Yeah, tick that box.
Yeah. Political power, personal power. It makes him a threat that if they actually try to do anything against him, it becomes a proper legal ramifications kind of case.
And it becomes an Avengers level threat.
He's an Avengers level threat that they can't do anything about, because the second he says diplomatic immunity, just like Lethal Weapon 2, they are screwed. You have then taken action against someone, against a legally protected member of the country.
Of society.
Yeah. Regardless of what they may have done or not have done, because that's how diplomatic immunity works.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, you know, you don't have to like it,
but you have to get on with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would think that's going to be I think that would be the best option, Doctor Doom, because it's kind of they've done big alien invasion led by Loki.
Yeah.
They've done robot wanting to end the world.
Yeah.
They've done purple alien who's exterminated half of the world,
half of the universe. Yeah.
It's kind of
how do you top that?
This is it. Personal, intimate threat from someone that they cannot stop. Because even if they could beat the living shit out of them, which would be tough, he's alien enough that you cannot fight him. He probably couldn't like fist fight the Hulk like Thanos did.
No.
But you can work around that. You could have him like, you know, beat the shit out. You can have a fist fight with like Captain Marvel, and to the similar effect. It's like, damn, Captain Marvel can't beat this guy in a fist fight.
All right. Well, if you liked our video, if you agree with our comment, or
put your answers to the three questions down below.
If you agree with our supposition, or you didn't, put what you think down below in the comments.
Yeah. The three questions, just so you know: who lives, who dies, how they actually resolve the situation, and where
do they go from here.
So put in the comments what you think. You know,
speculation is lots of fun, especially at this time.
Oh yeah, it's just like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, indeed. And
it's not quite as bad as 3 o'clock.
No, it has been before. But
it's been worse.
It's been worse than before, and I'm sure worse than that in the future.
I think towards the end of September, I've got about a week off, and Ellie's only got like 2 days off. So,
oh yeah.
We're having a messy one.
We
on
are
those days.
Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Subscribe.
Thumbs up, notification squad and all that.
Indeed, bells and all that. Yeah. See you later.